A 35-year-old single woman in China has set such high standards for her future spouse.
Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. So today's video, we're going to see why so many older Chinese women are single, and then we're going to see what are their requirements or.
My requirements for a partner are simple. They should have a ready-made house with no mortgage, preferably be a native of Shanghai, have experience living abroad, work as a manager in a company, and most importantly, have good temperament. Someone like Daniel Wu would be ideal.
However, at a matchmaking event with thousands of participants, nobody even glances at her.
So, she said her standards are simple, right? Based on what you guys heard so far, are those standards really simple? Those standards, what she required from a man, those things going to take years to accomplish, right? But let's keep listening.
Contrast between her ideals and reality leaves her feeling lost.
I'm told I'm the oldest woman here, she says. I don't want to continue anymore.
Wenjie, 35, is a senior executive in a company. Born and raised in Shanghai, she has always had a privileged upbringing, coupled with some good looks, which made her quite popular in her 20s. However, her high standards have prevented her from finding a suitable partner. It's only now that she's starting to feel the true weight of loneliness. So, whenever she has free time, she shuttles between various matchmaking events in Shanghai. But in her eyes, all the prospective partners are subpar. It's her high and rigid standards that have kept her single for so long. Despite realizing her mistake, she refuses to lower her criteria, even in the face of criticism from matchmakers.
Okay, this is crazy, right? Now you would think that she's getting older, or maybe she would lower her standards, right? No, her standards stay the same, or maybe even higher, right? So I think as she getting older, she gonna keep increasing her standards because she probably going to accomplish more stuff. But let's keep listening.
You have to offer. What makes you so special? What can you give him? Just because you're a woman? Are there not enough women out there? But Wenjie, 35, can't hear any of these words. Seeing Wenjie's attitude, the matchmaker can only helplessly introduce her to a wealthy and handsome man for a blind date. To Wenjie, this man is undoubtedly the ideal marriage partner, but to him, she's worthless.
To be honest, I don't even want to look at her.
Yeah.
Upon hearing the wealthy man's evaluation of her, Wenjie breaks down. She cries like a teenager. But reality is cruel. When you demand high standards from others, you must also examine whether you meet those standards. In China, there are many older single women like Wenjie. They generally focus only on the man's financial status and social standing, while lacking a clear understanding of their own shortcomings.
Those women, those older women, they are not looking for love. So they're looking for somebody with wealth. So then they don't care who you are, as long as you have money and other stuff. That's all some of them care about. Let's keep listening.
Standards for choosing a partner are often very demanding, even unrealistic. Next, let's take a look at some of the exaggerated demands made by other older single women.
As a 38-year-old single woman, are our standards for choosing a partner really too high? I don't think so. Even if you don't have money, it's fine, I can support you. I only care about your age. I like men born after 1995. I absolutely do not want men over 30 years old.
Crazy, right? She is 38, right? But she's looking for somebody younger than her. Right? Let's just say somebody that is younger than her, also looking for somebody that is younger than him. This is just ridiculous.
After all, the health of the child is directly related to the father, right? Another requirement is that I won't consider men who are infertile. Additionally, my standards are even stricter. Men who can't have healthy children are absolutely not acceptable. As for the bride price, I can give you money, say, 200,000 yuan. But our child must take my surname. You should be at least 1.8 meters tall and have abs. We also value looks and physique. Otherwise, it's embarrassing to go out together, and I would lose face. If you don't have a house, you can live in mine. You just need to take care of the housework and cook for me. I have a sensitive stomach, so you need to take care of my diet. Moreover, you have to be obedient and gentle, and at home, you must listen to me. Additionally, our relationship can only be led by me. You cannot be unreasonable. I can spend money on you, but you can't trouble me. I'm very tired from working outside every day, and I just want peace when I get home. As for work and education, I don't care if you have a job or not. But if you do have a job, it can't be too busy. Being too busy means you won't have time to take care of the house and children. Moreover, you need to provide emotional support at home, always accompany me, appreciate me, and admire me.
你今年多大岁数了？
How old are you this year? 30. Are you married? No. Do you have a boyfriend? No. Why aren't you married? I don't see the point. What's the point of having a boyfriend? So he can spend money on you? Yes, but he also has to be willing. How much money per month do you think is appropriate for a boyfriend to give you? I don't know. Is 50,000 yuan enough? That's definitely enough. How much bride price is needed to marry you? The normal amount, 200,000 yuan. I think you're very beautiful, so there must be many guys chasing you. Why do you think you're still single? Is it because you're very picky? I don't know. I think it's mainly that I have to like him, and he must have money. So, he needs to be both rich and someone you like, right? Not necessarily. If he truly likes me, he can have less money. But if he doesn't truly like me, he must have a lot of money. How much money do you think is a lot? I don't know. I think he should have at least 50 million yuan in assets. But besides that, the most important thing is that I feel something for him. If I have no feelings for him at all, I still wouldn't marry him.
我的要求呢也不是很过分。
At least this woman not only looking for someone with money, she's looking for somebody that she is attracted to. This is not bad. But let's see what else the other women going to say.
是要求农村嘛？农村有一套别墅。
Actually, my requirements aren't too excessive. Since my family is from the countryside, I want the guy to have a villa in the countryside with a swimming pool. He also needs to have an apartment in the city that's at least 140 square meters so that it will be convenient for our child to go to school in the future. He should have savings of about 1 million yuan and a car worth around 50 to 60,000 yuan. The bride price should be 1 million yuan. That's it, just these requirements. To be honest, when I told my parents about these conditions, they advised me not to look for a partner. Then why are you still looking? I think if I go on 10 blind dates, at least one should be successful. I just need to go on more dates. As a guy, I have to tell you, there are basically no young men who can meet your conditions. I'm genuinely here to find a match, so I'm telling you the truth. Please don't get angry. Oh, that's a very low probability. But as a woman, I have to look out for myself. If the guy has that much money, my future life won't be difficult or rushed. I would be so happy I could laugh in my dreams. Miss, may I ask how old you are this year? I'm 28 years old. Oh, for a woman, 28 is considered quite old. No wonder your parents told you to stop looking for a match. Yes, although my parents say that, I definitely need to find a boyfriend. Miss, since your parents know it's hard to find someone who meets your conditions, why don't you lower your standards a bit? No one in the countryside can meet your demands. The villas you mentioned are just like the houses in front of you. Most rural houses are like this, and they are nicely decorated. Also, the savings, bride price, car, and city apartment you require are very rare. I think it would be great if I could find a guy with these conditions. This way, I wouldn't have to think about earning money or finding a job every day, which is so annoying. The elders in my village used to love introducing boyfriends to me, but they stopped doing so, miss. Let's call it a day then. We're just wasting each other's time. I have one last piece of advice for you. Since your parents advised you not to go on blind dates, you really shouldn't. It wastes other people's time and yours too. I'm leaving now. Goodbye.
It's just crazy. Your own parents told you to stop trying. That should tell you a lot. And in her requirements, she said her requirement is simple. Based on what you guys heard, are those requirements really simple? Let's keep listening.
都看不上我啊！你条件也不如我，长得也不是很好，你有什么资格看不上我？我问你。
Why do you think you can reject me? Your conditions aren't better than mine, and you don't look that good either. What gives you the right to look down on me? Answer me. Fine, I admit my conditions aren't as good as yours, and my assets aren't as good either. But I like 18-year-old girls. Don't blame me. My 80-something-year-old grandfather likes 18-year-olds. My 50-something-year-old dad likes 18-year-olds. And me? I'm around 30, so I like 18-year-olds even more.
All right, this is weird. I don't know how this thing is in their culture, but this is weird. 80 years old wants an 18 years old. Nah, this ain't it, man. This is not it. He's 30. He's looking for an 18 years old. This is just weird to me. But let's keep listening, or maybe he will tell us why he is looking for somebody that is 18.
And you? You're already 38. So what? You knew my age before coming to this blind date. Since you knew my age and still came, you should respect me, right? If you like 18-year-olds, go find an 18-year-old. Why did you come to me? I didn't think that much before I came. But after meeting you, I really didn't expect your demands to be so high. Let me tell you, it's a time when there are more men than women. You say my demands are high? Your desire for an 18-year-old girl is even higher as a woman. If I want to find an 18-year-old boy, even if he doesn't marry me, he would at least get to know me. So what if you get to know an 18-year-old boy? Let's see if you can actually become his girlfriend. I know you're 38, and I came here sincerely for this blind date, not to talk about dreams. But the moment you sat down, you started talking about dreams, having a house and a car, both fully paid for, and having at least several million in savings. Do you think your demands are realistic? Why wouldn't my demands be realistic? They are very normal for a man. Forget it. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
My marriage criteria really too high. I have a master's degree and I'm willing to find someone with a bachelor's degree. I own 2 houses and I'm open to someone from any city in Zhejiang, rural or urban, as long as they can afford a down payment. I request a dowry of 50,000 renminbi, and I'll match it with another 50,000 renminbi, making a total of 100,000 renminbi as a future childbearing fund. The only aspect where I'm a bit demanding is in the height of the prospective partner. Perhaps because I'm not tall myself, at 158 centimeters, I hope the man is at least 175 centimeters tall, so our future children may have an advantage in height. Overall, I believe these 4 conditions are reasonable. I've already compromised a lot, but some keep urging me to lower my standards. However, how could I accept a man with only a primary school education, standing at 160 centimeters tall, and earning only 3,500 yuan per month? That's just not realistic. This year, as a 34-year-old unmarried woman, I decided to embark on the journey of blind dates. This is my first blind date of the year, and the gentleman is also single. He is 2 years younger than me and from Shenyang. Introduced by a friend, I heard he works in a state-owned enterprise, possibly as a laborer. This morning, I rushed out without having breakfast, so I had to buy a bag of milk from the store. After drinking it, I realized the seat I was in had no backrest, so I moved to another spot to wait for him. When I saw him, I noticed he was quite thin. During our conversation, I learned that he currently lives with his parents, and he intends to continue living with them after marriage. I feel like we may have some differences in perspective because I don't want to live with my parents after getting married. I prefer to have our own space as a couple. However, I can sense that he is a reliable and hardworking person, and he seems to have a liking for me, deliberately trying to make me happy by cracking jokes. We talked about what sounds different animals make. He asked me about the meow sound of cats, and I asked him if chickens cluck. He said chickens do cluck, and the chance is reserved for the prepared one. Haha, he really made me laugh. We just got to know each other a bit. As it was nearing lunchtime, he suggested treating me to something delicious, so he took me to KFC. He said today is Crazy Thursday, so I asked him what that meant. Turns out, KFC has promotional offers on Thursdays. I didn't expect him to take me to KFC on our first meeting, and although I was a little disappointed, it's not a big deal. After getting to know each other today, I feel that we have some differences in perspective. However, at this age, it's not easy to meet someone willing to get to know each other, so I plan to continue exploring this potential relationship.
Do you know what kind of men women over 30 in China eventually marry? Firstly, these women will not marry men with poor conditions. In their words, I have waited until this age, what would I see in him? No money, no looks, nothing. It's better to be single. So what about men who are older, have a house, a car, a career, and a high income? Such men are worth marrying, but they usually won't marry women over 30. Generally speaking, if a man with good conditions is still unmarried in his 30s, there are usually two situations. First, they don't want to get married. Second, they only want to marry a young and beautiful woman. These men with good conditions have rich emotional experiences, and they know the value of women, so they won't choose older women. Older men can't marry, so women over 30 can only look for younger men. To be honest, I've only seen older woman-younger man relationships in TV dramas. In daily life, it's unrealistic for a woman in her 30s to marry a man in his 20s. Some young men in their 20s might be sweet talkers, but they can be very cruel. Dating them is fine because they won't lose anything. But if a woman wants to marry them and make them responsible, that's another story. They can run faster than a rabbit, and some of them might even spend your money before running away. So, women in their 30s mostly end up marrying older men, some marry divorced men or men with children, and some stay single. In the future, the phenomenon of older single women in China will only become more severe. The more developed the city, the more single women there are. Actually, many older women haven't found suitable partners mainly because they are too restless inside. They always want the best but often overlook their own shortcomings. As the saying goes, nobody is perfect. It's not easy to find someone who can connect and be loyal in the vast sea of people. If you use various conditions to screen partners, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. While it's right to prefer quality over quantity, it's wise to know when to stop.
Anything that they can do, I think they should lower the standards a little bit, or maybe they will find somebody